blankets so it's quiet enough to hear me. This is Reimagining Hustle, a podcast for entrepreneurial parents creating a life where business and parenthood live peacefully in the same space. I'm your host, Roxanne Market, a mom of two, micro-business coach, and serial entrepreneur on a journey to prove that it really is possible to do what you love without sacrificing all of your precious time. Let's do this. Welcome back to Reimagining Hustle. I'm so excited for my guest today. I have Shari Hammond with me. Shari, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun. Shari, can we just jump right in? Will you just tell us about you, what it is that you do and your journey to get there?
Sure. I am a young entrepreneur. I say young. I feel young at heart anyways. I'm 48. And my father and I have started a business about 3 years ago, and we invent products for the home that make life's daily tasks easier. And I'm also a single mom to a 13-year-old, just recently turned 13-year-old super teen, and he plays basketball and lacrosse. And I'm a dog person. I'm an animal lover, dog person, cat person. Every morning, my dad and I take a walk, and 3 dogs go with us, and 1 cat go on a mile walk with us. So it's pretty funny, but just, hustling every day from one thing to the next and just putting it all together and trying to make it work the best I can.
That's incredible. So I like how you just like so casually say this, that you're, like you say, you're an entrepreneur, which you totally are, but then you'll just like slide in that you're an inventor. So can you tell us about what it's like to be an inventor here and will you give us some details about products that you've invented?
Sure. Being an inventor is, it's really taking entrepreneurship to the next level, right? It's identifying a need in the marketplace. If you need it, chances are somebody else would. And I actually come from a line of inventors. My father is a retired IBM engineer. He's actually on his 3rd retirement, he always says, right now. And he's got about 150 patents underneath his belt. And so he's been teaching me and mentoring me and kind of getting me ready to go out there and do it on our own. The products that we have right now, I'm on my, I think, 4th patent. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so you do this with your dad, which is so fun. I have a really good relationship with my dad, so I can only imagine how much fun you must have working with your dad every day. So what will you tell us, just like your most recent patent? Tell us about the product that it's for.
So the most recent one, and it's the most exciting, it's actually the one that's gotten the most traction and is really taking off, is called Go Hang It. And it is a picture hanging and leveling tool that will have you hanging and leveling pictures with 0 measuring required. You literally just eyeball it on the wall, and the Go Hang It has this unique positioning system, which identifies exactly where those nails need to go on the back of your frame. So you could hold it up on the wall, get it level, push, and it marks your nail hole. And so there's no guesswork. There's no measuring up, down, left, right. It's super easy. And you can hang a collage and hang each picture, within 1/4 of an inch. Well, you can hang them right up next to it if you want. But very, very tight collage, which is exciting. I love to see the pictures of people when they send me reviews and stuff. Like, what I hung with this, today. It's the best thing ever. It's pretty nice.
That's genius. I have paintings all over my house. I feel like I'm going to need to go buy one of these as soon as we're done having this conversation. This is incredible. Shari, I want to know, what does success look like to you as you're in this never ending process? I mean, clearly, like, you came from a family who inventing is almost like a way of life. If your dad has 150 patents and you're on number 4, which I already talking to you can tell that like you've got more brewing. And so how do you measure success in your own life?
Gosh. I don't really I've never equated success to money. I've never wanted like more money.
Yeah.
I've always just wanted to be the best mom that I could be, the best, provider that I could be, the best daughter that I could be. And getting to work with my dad is truly a blessing. I get to come and see him every single day and take a walk with him every single day. And during the pandemic, you would think that we were about to pull our hair out.
Yeah.
But it's actually been quite the opposite. I am a true daddy's girl. That's for sure. But he's just an amazing guy, and he's very, very patient with me. But because I'm the gruff one sometimes. But
no, that makes a lot of sense. So this is interesting because you're a mom to this 13-year-old, brand new 13-year-old, but you're also acting in this role as daughter during this entrepreneurship journey. And so I'm curious, how has kind of that juxtaposition of roles through this journey changed you as a person?
gosh, one of the things that I found is that it really keeps me young at heart.
Mm.
My dad and I were talking about this the other day. He recently turned 80, and I asked him how he felt. He said, "I feel like I'm 60." I said, "Well, that's awesome because I feel like I'm 30." And maybe it's because I still work with him and have it, left the nest, so to speak, I guess. I mean, I know I have, but it really keeps you young. And being a single mom, he has really stepped in and taken the role of a male mentor for my son. Just the daily male mentoring for my son, I would say.
Yeah. What a special thing to have, not only for you, but for your son as well, to have just that regular presence of grandpa in his life. I imagine that is so special for him and for your dad as well. I imagine that's really special, and how fun for you to kind of watch that happen in the middle of this all, right? Of these two significant men in your life. Shari, do you ever experience guilt around being a mom and an entrepreneur at the same time?
Sometimes, yes, I do. I do feel guilty because I'm so busy. It seems like, especially during this pandemic, I'm not an 8 to 5er, right? I work, when he's in school, and then when he's at basketball practice or when he's at lacrosse practice. So I do get my 8 hours of work in a day, or I spread those hours out throughout the entire week.
Sure.
The pandemic, Saturdays and Sundays you often find yourself going, "What day is it?"
Regularly, yes.
You hardly even know. Is it time to watch church on Zoom? Is it, so it's definitely, I do feel guilty. You asked me about, what measures for success that I have. One of the things, like, my son Pierce, he's very good in basketball and he's very good in lacrosse, and he wants to play at a D1 school on the D1 level in basketball. And the way he's passionately taken after basketball and really hustling and really working at it and shooting, he'll shoot like 300 shots here, in the afternoons and everything. And I truly believe he'll get there. So success in one of the major goals in my mind is that when he chooses a college or goes to play at that college, I want to be able to be comfortable enough to have a apartment there or have some place where I could go and see and watch his games and all that kind of stuff. So that's like one of the goals that I have set in my mind. I don't know if I've ever told anybody.
I'm so glad you told us that. Thank you for sharing and just letting us in a little bit. That's such a beautiful way of expressing support, I think, is to have that goal. So thank you for opening up and sharing that with us. How involved is your son in the work that you do?
So I grew up working. My parents had a business called Hardwood Crafts when I was younger. It started as a hobby. My dad's an engineer at IBM, and he wanted to make his own furniture, so he started doing this woodworking hobby. Well, they started making lamps and LP holders.
Yes.
And things of that nature. And he got to be quite good. And so as a young child, I remember spending Saturdays staining wood products and getting them ready to take to trade shows, artist harvest shows, kiosks in the mall. And eventually we had a store called Hunt's Woodcraft, and I was 8 years old, sleeping under the kiosk while my mom decorated it late at night to get ready for the next day, and working with her in the mall. And so, Pierce, he's just on Saturdays and Sundays, he's part of the team. Come help me pack orders, come help me break down all these boxes and take them out to the burn pile. Him help me, load these shipments up and take them to UPS. So he is part of the team. He's like, well, Mom, when am I going to get paid? And I said, when you can spend an hour without stopping to go shoot the basketball for 15 minutes in between. When you can work a solid hour, you'll get paid for that hour. So
that's fantastic. Shari, I want to ask you a question that I have not asked many of my guests, but I hope you don't mind me asking you this.
Mm-hmm.
You are clearly you have a wonderful family, right? You can tell this is an audio podcast, but we're recording video. So I have the advantage of seeing your faces. You talk about your dad and you talk about your son. What do you do for you? We kind of talk about like self-care, but just kind of throwing that buzzword to the side, like genuinely, what do you do for you to establish you as a human?
So for me, I don't do like very big things, but I do little things. So each morning I wake up about 30 minutes earlier than I have to get my son up. And I get up and I make a cup of coffee and I sit down and I play a game on my phone.
Yes.
And it's like just 20 minutes of just me, doing nothing basically, but just kind of taking in the day. And I'll check the news and check some apps. I've got an app that has some scripture in it. And I'll read through that. And it's just kind of, like me time.
Yeah.
And so I do that. I do enjoy getting pedicures every now and then. One thing I am religious about is I do get a massage every 2 weeks. And that to me, there's so many health benefits, lymphatic drainage and really just relaxing you and having that on a ritual basis. I think it's really improved my overall health and well-being. And so I suggest people go find themselves a good masseuse.
Oh, I will second that suggestion 100%. I appreciate you letting me ask you this question too, because I think that sometimes, especially as women, we tend to get lost in all of the hats that we wear. Right. And so I love asking this question because I want my listeners to know that self-care, that taking care of yourself and finding you as a human being and you as a person, just a self, right, can be found in so many different ways. So I love that that's something like massages, that's a priority to you. And that morning time, however, like that just sounds so pleasant. It sounds just so calm and peaceful to just sit with your cup of coffee and just play a game. Like how delightful is that every morning? And what a beautiful way to just start the morning with something that feels good to you. So thank you for letting me kind of throw that one in out of the blue. No warning there, but
no worries.
I like I said, I think that's, we tend to lose ourselves. And so I appreciate you letting us in a little bit. Shari, what do you wish people knew about being a parent, especially a single parent and an entrepreneur simultaneously?
If you can be a single parent, you can pretty much be anything. It's one of the greatest challenges because if you don't have that. Now I do have a support system with my dad, and when my mom was alive, she passed a couple of years ago, but she was a real big part of helping me. When I first went through my divorce in 2010, my dad said, every Friday I want you to come bring Pierce to us. So every Friday, right after I got off work, I didn't work for myself at the time, I would pick Pierce up, take him off to my parents, and just drop him off. And some days I would be like, go find the girls and go do something. And other days I would just go home and just sit, watch a movie by myself or drink a glass of wine or whatever. And that was huge. But, being a single parent, you have to constantly move from one thing to the other. Pierce is in lacrosse currently. Lacrosse, track, and basketball.
That's a lot
right now. And so, they say God only gives you what you can handle. Thank goodness I didn't have 2 or 3, right? He's juggling 9 sports.
Right.
It's awful. But I don't know, you said something that made me think of, you said I wear many hats. I've always considered myself a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
master of none. And I think that was the perfect grooming for me to become a parent and then eventually a single parent and then eventually an entrepreneur because you wear many hats. As a matter of fact, my Skype profile, that's what it says. It's a Shari Hammond. I wear many hats. And it does. And so, you're just getting good at juggling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I heard it explained once recently that being a parent and an entrepreneur doing all of these things, it is a constant state of juggling, and you have to determine which ones are the glass balls and which ones are the plastic balls, because you're inevitably going to drop some. So you got to be dropping the plastic ones that'll survive that fall.
Right. My dad always says the project takes the time allotted. So, always set yourself a deadline, and when it's done, it's done.
So that's good advice. I appreciate that advice. Shari, I would love to ask you a question about the name of this podcast. So I named this podcast Reimagining Hustle because when I was first started my business, I was not a parent. I started my business first, and I really loved that hustle, 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 go, go, go. It felt really good to me, right? It felt like something that I was accomplishing something. And then I had my first child and my whole world stopped. And I had to think, okay, what is life going to look like now? And I've been on this quest to reimagine what hustle looks like since then. So I would love to know, how do you reimagine this idea of hustle?
So, I guess with my dad teaching me, I always felt like it would be my job to teach Pierce not only how to do his math homework and, clean up his dishes and clean his own bathroom and all that kind of stuff, but to really teach him how to create. I am a creative person. I do box packaging before inventing these products, do our own packaging and marketing and all that kind of stuff. So, again, jack of all trades, master of none. It's our job to teach our children to be capable. So you really just have to continue doing what you're doing, but now as a mentor, basically, Pierce needs to look at me and know what it is to have to work, to have to want something. Kids these days, they get things handed to them left and right, and they don't ever have to work for it. They don't understand the value of it. And so that's one of the reasons that, I'll be darned if I'm not going to raise a son that knows how to do stuff when he gets out there. Because I won't always be around. He needs to know how to do stuff when mom's not there.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. And to just kind of step into that role of mentor. As a parent, we have a lot of, it comes back to this hats idea, right? But to be a mentor, I appreciate that wisdom. Shari, would you give us a pep talk for other parents on an entrepreneurial journey?
Sure. Don't ever quit. Don't take no for an answer. You're going to hear no, or I don't really think that'll work for me, and all that kind of stuff. And just don't take no for an answer. Follow your gut. If your gut really tells you, I think women can really appreciate this. Women rely on their gut a lot.
Yeah.
They call it the female intuition or whatever. But if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. And if something's not moving in the right direction, take a step back and kind of reanalyze it. Lay it out there, reposition it, and maybe tweak it a little bit and head down a little bit different path and see if that feels better. That my gut has served me well in this business, and I don't know if you don't, and it really helps you buy into it and believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then you're not going to give it 110%. So by trusting your gut and really believing in what you're doing and heading in the right direction, I think that really, really helps.
Thank you for that pep talk too. Listen to your gut. I feel that on a deep level. So thank you for that. Shari, tell us where we can find more of you. We need more of you. Where can we find you online?
So the name of my company is Inspired Product Development Group, and you can go to inspiredpdgproductdevelopmentgroup.com. Our products are also on Amazon and Home Depot, Wayfair, and the Grommet. So
Awesome. And we'll make sure that we link everything in our show notes. Shari, thank you for your time today. It has been a treat to just be with you in this space. I feel like I've gotten to know your dad and Pierce as well at the same time. So thank them for sparing you for a little bit. But I really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Reimagining Hustle with Roxanne Merkett. If you like the show and want more, check out reimagininghustle.com and please leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back next week with another episode. See you soon.